Well, hello there. Thanks for tuning in today. Wanted to spend some time discussing. I've been having a pretty interesting day. It's been a little bit crazy. I woke up this morning. My watch was broken for some reason. I got a Fitbit about 3 or 4 months ago, and for some reason I woke up and it just would not work or turn on, which is fine. I actually got the benefit of what I needed from it. But basically, just wanted to talk about the idea of giving up and understanding that everybody is going to get to this point on their journey where doing the right thing is usually difficult, and there's going to be a lot of challenges, and there'll be a point where a lot of people get that they want to stop doing what they're doing and giving up and not continue down the path because it gets hard. And that's part of life. Just filled with challenges, and the beauty of it is those challenges allow you to grow. I do think we grow from our successes, but I mentioned in a previous video that I think we do really grow from our failures more if you allow yourself to, and that's understanding that failure is a part of life, but also wanting to give up is a completely normal part of life. If people, I'm going to use an example here of we'll say in World War II, if the soldiers decided that they wanted to give up halfway through the battle, we would not have a Western society today and a lot of the commodities and amenities that exist. And same thing with understanding modern electricity. Edison's not. I love Edison, but I also think he has a lot of flaws as a human being. However, he did a lot of trial and error to get to the point where he was able to create a conductor, which I believe they used cardboard. It was one of the first conductors for electricity for a very long time for light bulbs. But he went through thousands and thousands of trials to get to that point to where he finally figured out what works as a good conductor in a light bulb. And if he gave up, we wouldn't have the modern day light bulb. At least he wouldn't have invented it, but there might have been several years setback to where it never existed. So the point is I'm trying to get to is that wanting to stop pursuing your goals and dreams is going to be a normal part of the path. And the beauty of it is we all experience it. Every successful person that you see, there hasn't been a moment where they haven't thought about stopping what they're doing, but it's being able to push through that and keep going. Because a lot of this is around the understanding that the work that you put in now, in the present moment, a lot of it, there's not instant gratification involved with it. So you're not going to see the results right away. And that's difficult for a lot of us because we're so used to getting that instant dopamine hit right away. And I know I was for the longest time. I wanted to see like instant results for something. It's like, why don't I have 1,000 views on this video already or something like that? And it could be a multitude of reasons. Could be bad content, could be the format, could just be titles wrong, thumbnail, could be so many different things. But it's really just trial and error and determining what works and what doesn't work and pivoting towards the things that do work and keep on being persistent. That's one thing I'm going to keep on preaching and telling y'all is persistence is key. Consistency is key. Another great example is for me personally, I'm currently on a weight loss journey. It's been an absolute blast. I kick myself in the ass every day though. For putting myself in this position to begin with, I recommend the best way to lose weight is not put it on to begin with, and initially create healthy habits and a good workout routine that works for you. And I'm a proponent of lifting. Specifically, I actually think everybody should lift, men and women. I think men especially should go to the gym and lift at least 3 times a week. It's incredibly healthy. It's good for your bones and muscles, especially as you get older. When you hit 30, your testosterone naturally starts to decrease over time. And the same thing when you hit, I believe it's 40, your muscle mass actually starts to decrease at a rate, it's 40 or 50, I can't remember exactly, I think it's 40. 40 is when your muscle mass starts to decrease basically at a rate of about 10% every 10 years. And the way you combat that is going to the gym and exercising and lifting weights, and doing strength training or resistance training, to help bolster and fortify your muscles so that A, they don't lose mass, and B, you strengthen them so that you can keep at least some degree of your physical prowess. So for me personally, I've been fat since I was a kid. I actually I was pretty skinny up until basically elementary school, and then it was just kind of went downhill from there. I was involved in sports a lot too, but it was something that I learned pretty quickly that consistency is very, very important, especially in weight loss. And it was kind of interesting because my dad, wanted me initially to get off the weight when I was in middle school, and it was a thing where I would walk on the treadmill at home. We had a treadmill in our house. I walked on that for like an hour a day, and it was kind of cool because I remember I was doing this maybe for like 3 months, and it was interesting because it was like see weight loss, but I didn't really see the change in my body, and I was kind of like, well, this is depressing and disappointing. And I didn't understand at the time that you're not going to see these changes instantly, especially when you see yourself every single day. It becomes very difficult because your mind, it's like almost plays tricks on you. You're so used to seeing yourself that you don't necessarily notice the changes until you like hit basically what I like to call this. And there's a book about it, but it's basically this peaking point to where, or a tipping point to where it's like you see completely. It's just like you feel completely different, and you don't necessarily notice that until you hit that point. Some people it'll be faster. It's the difference between like if you're losing 20 pounds versus like 100 pounds. The 100-pound person's not going to probably see a substantial change that they want necessarily. I have really high standards for myself and what I want to in my physical journey of where I'm trying to recomposition my body to. However, a person that is 100 pounds overweight, losing 20 pounds, it's going to be a huge difference in their health, except they're not necessarily going to see that physically represented in their body yet. And that's the thing. It can be pretty disheartening to where you put in all this work. I lost 20 pounds in like 2-3 months. Why don't I look any different? Well, it's because you still have another 80 pounds that you really need to lose. That's the thing. So consistency is key, especially when it comes to the thoughts of giving up. Just keep pushing through it. The best advice I can give you, and I really hate saying just keep pushing through it, but it really is it is key. It's like you want to start a blog, you want to start a YouTube channel, you want to start your own business, designing t-shirts and selling them on Etsy, or doing any of these businesses that you see on YouTube or online that are like what they say easy businesses to start. No business is really easy to start. It's something that you have to consistently put in work over time and put your energy into. And that's why I'm not a proponent of, I mentioned this in previous videos, fast money hacks and things like, you invest in this certain crypto or this certain stock or index fund and you'll be rich overnight, or like the people that are like, I turned $1,000 into $2 million in 6 months, or I turned $100,000 into $10 million in 3 months, or something like that. I'm like, okay, show your proof of concept. Show the work that you did to actually get there. Oh, we sell a program, it's $2,000, and that shows it. But I'm like, what they don't tell you though is a lot of this is really about putting in the work and putting in the effort, especially when you don't want to. That's something I won't take credit for that. I have to give it to Hamza. He has good valid points. I enjoy his videos. They're entertaining, and I think he actually creates good, wholesome content that can be a little bit extra sometimes, but he does make valid arguments and valid points. But one thing that he states, and I had this on my wall for the longest time, is do the hard work, especially when you don't want to. It's like when you don't want to go to the gym, that's when you need to go to the gym. When you don't want to post that YouTube video, that's when you need to post the YouTube video. When you don't want to write that blog post, that's when you need to write that blog post. Because you're conditioning your mind to work through the times that you don't want to work. And it's an uphill battle to start with, especially when you're used to sitting on your ass all day and, basically just doing nothing, complaining about being bored. And in reality, you need to feed your mind and feed your soul with something to do. And something productive, not just like playing video games or watching TV or like indefinitely reading. Like I'm a proponent of reading, but that also has its limits to where I don't think you could read too much, but there's a point where it's like if you just sit and read all day and you're not actually working towards your goals, that is a distraction in essence. And that's the thing. We distract ourselves with all these things rather than focusing on the things that we want to. And in essence, that is a form of giving up. Feeding into those distractions rather than focusing on your vision and on your goals and dreams. And, it's not necessarily... Not every dream is, I would say, some dreams are bigger than others. I mean, everybody has a vision of how they want their life to play out and work, but you have to put in the effort to get there. It's not just going to be handed to you on a silver platter. Like, for example, I love how for lottery winners, for example, they get all this money and then a lot of them go bankrupt because a lot of them don't have necessarily the work ethic or the understanding of how to make that money continue indefinitely and well beyond when they're here. And that's the thing. Putting in the work, you learn these skills and values and beliefs, and you really get to a point where you know that you can accomplish anything, and that's a amazing place to be, because you know in your heart, in your soul, in your mind, whatever you want to call it. I don't really care, but deep down, something inside of you will put in the effort, even in the hardest times. Because when you can do the work and pursue your dreams and pursue your goals and execute on them when you're at your lowest points, imagine what you could do when you're feeling top of the world at your highest point. It's beautiful, because once you understand that you can get through the darkest nights and put in the effort, even when you really, really, really despise doing so, you can accomplish almost anything. And I mean, I would say you can accomplish anything. We're creatures of adaptability. We have the ability to really adapt to any situation. That's in essence one of humans' superpowers, I would say. As part of our experience, we've conquered lands, we've tamed beasts, we've explored all realms of pretty much the entire planet. And it's just persistence and consistency and creating an attitude of a diligence through productivity and putting in the effort even when you want to give up. And I guarantee you will get to a point when you want to give up on your journey, because it's hard. It gets really disheartening. For me, for example, I mean, I've only been posting on YouTube for a little bit over a week now, but there's no views on like any of my videos, which is, I really don't care about that, but I'm also kind of like, learning from that, trying to pivot and understand what will work. There's other forms of content that I want to do other than just this, free form talking to the camera. I'm creating some actual like tangible content that involves around like storytelling and specific things, and I'm going to be launching some of those specifically. I'm hoping to get the first one out by the end of this year, but most likely it'll probably be on the start of January. But I'm really looking forward to sharing that with everyone. But that's the thing, you gotta keep pushing through even when you don't want to. And I know I've said that and repeated it multiple times, but it really is, I think, that important. It's something that when you can drive that home, and it is something that just lives inside of your brain, and you can kill that part of you, that laziness, that part that that almost like lower version of yourself that just wants to take the easy route of doing nothing and just sitting on your ass and watching TV all day, or not studying for your exams, or not actually putting effort into your work. If you can kill that self, or kill that part of yourself, or even better yet, figure out how to make it work for you, to voluntarily say like, okay, I'm down. Get that ego to really like integrate within yourself to be supportive of what you want to do. Because the funny part is that side of us that feeds into the lust of distractions and whatnot. If it just could take a step back and understand to forego that instant gratification, to put in the hard work even when you don't want to, it would be ecstatic to where you could go. It just doesn't see that. So I recommend, and I highly, highly say, don't give up. Push through, especially when you don't want to. There will be times when it's gonna be dark, but the light always exists. It is there. Even in darkness, it is there. You just gotta keep pushing through until you find it. And I'm gonna leave you at that. I'm gonna leave you with that. If you like the video, I wouldn't mind if you hit a like. That'd be awesome. And if you wanna be notified of any content moving forward, I wouldn't mind if you hit that subscribe button. Would really appreciate it. But again, up to you. And I would love to hear your thoughts on this video. If you want to discuss, I'm always open to having discussions. I will respond to every comment. And that's just because I'm starting off here, but I really want to have conversations and dialogues with people that are interested in these topics and are looking just for some guidance. I'm happy to provide any answers to any questions you may have. So feel free to leave a comment. Otherwise, I hope you have an awesome day, and I will see you tomorrow.